Welcome to Standout Resi. It is great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Resi, you and I have known each other for, is it a year? Has it already been a year?
I think it's been about a year.
It's been about a year. And in that
Yeah.
time, you have been doing some amazing things to create opportunities for young people in Richmond, Virginia. So I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today for this on-air strategy session, because I know you've been running around, and you sitting down at this moment in time is a big deal. You haven't done that all day. So let's let our audience know what it is you are trying to accomplish and how you're trying to help people.
Okay, so we're developing a high school for for teenagers, 8th through 12th grade, based on our farm. So we'll take them outside of the standard classroom and we'll put them to work, doing things and learning by doing their projects.
I love that. It's a farm-based high school, and it's been your passion to make this a reality. And you're a homeschooling mom yourself, so
Yeah.
you know what is necessary to keep your kids engaged, to keep other kids engaged, and you're trying to make this happen for kids in the Richmond, Virginia area. So where are we right now in the school process? I know that's been a bit of a challenge over the last year.
Wow. So it has been a challenge because we're at the part where we're trying to find property to make all this happen. And we've been really close a couple of times and had things fall through because the owners at the last minute decided not to sell. So now we are working on a partnership with a local organization in Petersburg, and they have 260 acres and a facility that would work well with the school. So we're working with the board to get approval to partner with them and use the property.
That's phenomenal. And I know you
Yeah.
wanted to open up this fall, so time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence, and now it is August, and we were looking at an opening date of September 5th. And for this property to work, we need two things. We need approval from the board, which we're waiting for, and we need, I just learned that we're going to have to go through the conditional use permit with the county. So that's going to take a couple of months. So it is going to delay the opening, but I think in the end, it's going to be so worth it.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. So I want to take us back because you had this idea, which is a great idea, that when even before any of this happened, any partnerships, before any of that, people who heard this could feel your passion, could hear how much it meant to you to make this happen. How did you get people to come on board with you? How did you encourage them to be a supporter with you?
Well, actually, that part wasn't hard. I should say it was not hard at all because once people started hearing about the idea, there's so many frustrated kids out there, and in turn, extremely frustrated parents because they're at wit's end and need alternatives. So once they started hearing about it was easy to get folks to come on board.
Mm-hmm. I remember we talked about a year ago when I said to you, I said, you need to build your tribe. It's not just
Yeah.
you. There's not just you who has frustrations with what is happening in schools, and you have a solution. So what are some of the struggles that you are going on with now? Now, we've heard about the last minute things to get the school building approved, but what are some of the struggles that you're facing right now that I can help you with?
Well, so what happened was we had a property that was ready in June, and we got everybody excited about it, and we're moving in. And to be honest, it was not ideal. It was not in an ideal location. It was good enough, and it wasn't an ideal facility situation at all. But it was going through, and it was something we could use and move forward with. And that fell through because the owner's children actually threw a tantrum when they found out he was selling the property.
Oh, no.
And he pulled the deal off the table, right? So we had a lot of excitement and momentum because the parents are just really looking for us to find a place so that they can really get behind this project. And I was so disappointed, on a number of levels, but a lot of disappointment for the parents And so I wasn't sure how to really handle that. And the way that I handled it was I kind of disappeared from the public. You know, I wasn't so active on my Facebook page for the school. You know, it was a little bit, but not so much. And I was still working in the background, but I wasn't out there saying, oh, you know, this is where we are now, because I feel like I've kind of had, you know, it's been a roller coaster. So my challenge right now is, I notice I still have a number of parents that are like really ready to, but I feel like I've lost the momentum because of what happened and probably the way I responded to it. And my concern is this one, you know, the board members that we talked to have all been very excited about the project, and they think that it's definitely within their mission as well. And we have only gotten positive feedback. And so the administrator of the property and some of the other folks are saying, go ahead and move forward. Talk to the USDA, talk to the county, you know, get all those puzzle pieces in the works. So when the board finally does meet and they say yes, that we won't be behind the curve. We'll be ahead of it. So we won't have to wait yet another 3 or 4 months, you know, for the county approvals and stuff. So I can't say this is it, because now I'm waiting for 2 decision factors. But I posted some little tidbits on the Facebook page, and there are some parents already, you know, saying, yay, we're praying for you, we're rooting for you, let us know what we can do. So I'm thinking that I should come up with a marketing and media strategy that while I can't make an announcement and say this is what we're doing, I could still maybe do some live stuff, and I could still maybe post events, because one of the buildings that we're going to be using, we need to get in there, and it's got stuff piled in it, and it needs to be cleaned out, and it needs to be painted. So there's some work days that we could do, and maybe I could put up as events or something. But what I really need is like a strategy on how to handle there, but we're almost there, and it's really positive. Right. And in the back of my mind, you know how that is with fears, in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, what if the county says no? What if the board meets and there's some board members that say, no, we don't want to do this? Those are both a possibility, although probably not going to happen. But I'm afraid to take my tribe on that roller coaster. So I'm kind of afraid to venture out and say, hey, this is where we are. These are the steps. This is how things are going to go. But I think from the little tiny bit of feedback, that's what I need to do.
So I have a couple of questions, and then I'll let you know what I think you can do. So you are allowed on property.
Yep.
You are allowed to talk about the location.
Yeah.
You're allowed to be inside live with a camera. You would be allowed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You would be allowed to do all of those things, even though the formal permission has not been granted. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So the decision makers, even though they know they have to make a decision, they are still allowing you to talk about the location. Is that true?
Well, yes. That's from the ones that I've heard from. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that would be my first thing, is to make sure, even though it is in the decision-making process, and I know that it sounds, so from what I gather from you, if you're saying like on a scale of 1 to 10, you're at a 9.5, that this is going to happen? Okay. If you're at a 9.5, then I would make sure that you have the permissions that you need to publicize this, because they have to understand that if you do get the permission, it's going to happen very quickly. You've got to fill a school by September 5th, right?
Exactly.
So I would first make sure that they understand that there is a timeline that you must meet, because there's no point in giving you the building or having this building yours for the school if there are no students. There's no point in that. It doesn't help anybody. So that is the first thing. Maybe you need to talk with some lawyers. Maybe you need to talk with people who are in that decision-making process. Maybe this will speed them up, but they need to, they need to be made aware that your location, the one that you're potentially going to be in is going to be out in the public, and if that's okay. So let's assume that that's okay. Let's assume that that is going to be a hurdle that you've already crossed. Okay, so let's assume that. And if you don't have the permission, you don't have the permission.
Right.
So if let's actually start with that. So if you don't have the permission and you can't go live and you can't say a location, then I would simply start putting some information out there saying, hey, we've got a big announcement coming up. That's not ideal because it doesn't give them a where, it doesn't give them a when, it doesn't give them anything other than, hey, a decision could be happening. So that's not as ideal as if you could actually be inside.
Right.
So that's what I would do if you don't have permission to explain where you'll be and sort of the steps that need to happen before it's finalized. So I don't like that one very much.
Right.
But let's assume that you can. Let's assume that you can explain a timeline, that you can take them inside some renovation, that you can show them the building, that maybe you can show them the grassy areas outside where you'll be planting or where the animals will go. So let's assume that you can have that. Right, Resi? Okay, let's assume that.
Right.
In which case then you do need to create excitement. That's when you go, and it can be live. I know you went through my video boot camp, and so you can absolutely go live, but it doesn't have to be live. It doesn't have to be anything more than a 2-minute video with you saying, I'm so excited. This is finally here. We are here in this location, and the school is going to be open on September 5th. I mean, it can be as simple as that. You can create excitement. You can absolutely create excitement by today. Like, in fact, when we get off this call, you can say, hey, a big announcement is coming up, and send that out to your email list or put that on your Facebook page, your private one, your personal one, or your main one for the school, and just say, look for details on a big announcement coming up. You can just make that right now. And then we can map out the videos that you do. You can even take pictures, show them inside. And so if, let's say today, you say a big announcement is coming up, which it sounds like you don't need any permission for. It sounds like you don't need any permission for that because you're not going to say anything. Then today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. But from now until the beginning of school, every day matters. So maybe you decide on Monday, for example. You'll say Monday is the beginning of your strategy. So you tell me, what is easiest for you? Audio, video, writing? Which one feels more authentic to you and one that you'd be more interested in?
Well, writing is the easiest for me.
Okay.
But I can take pictures and I can shoot short little videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well. I mean, that's not a big deal. Yeah.
So if, let's say, we decide your writing is the one that starts, then make a commitment that on Monday is going to be your first blog post or your first article where you unveil the school. And then if you have the bandwidth and maybe the help, because I know you've got your daughter who might help you. Yeah. She doesn't know this yet. But maybe you make a commitment to create one piece of content every day until you launch, until your school is open. Now, you want to sit down and think about how you're going to make that happen, because it would be hard to say, okay, I'm going to do this. First 5 days, you're a rock star. And then the last week, it's like, what have I done? So make a plan. Don't do too much in the first week. Maybe you're going to do the outside gardens on day 1 or the renovations on day 2. Like, do something small each day so you can create that momentum and also the consistency over the next 30 days. But let's say you decide blogs. Your blog is the first thing, and you decide to do pictures with the blog. So you create a blog on day 1, and let's say you do that in the morning. And then in the afternoon, maybe you do a quick 2-minute video. that is on the same topic as your blog, and you post that to social media. But keep it connected. So you're not thinking about different topics. The first day is going to be the pasture. Maybe the second day is going to be the science area. Maybe the third day is going to be lunchrooms. Whatever that is, one topic, and then all that content for your day is tied to that one topic that then is shared all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, if you're on Twitter, Instagram, if you use that. But use that one topic, keep it like one per day, if that's what you feel like you can create consistently.
Okay.
Does that sound overwhelming?
No, actually.
Okay,
not.
Good. So one piece per day, start with your blog, and then maybe do videos. If you can manage the videos, great, but your one piece of content is your blog.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay. I'm excited. Yeah. So you're going to create like something new is coming, and then we're going to start hearing some great things about what's happening with this school. That's phenomenal. So what other questions do you have? What other questions?
Please. Well, okay. So there is a little short piece coming out. Actually, it's probably out already.
Okay.
Which reminds me, I need to pick it up. There's the Richmond a magazine. Did their August edition is about private schools.
Great.
So they heard about our private school, and she did a phone interview, and she's doing just a little short piece like featuring our school.
Cool.
And obviously she couldn't put a location, which was really kind of disappointing for both of us, but she did indicate that we would probably be in the area, and and that came out this week. So I haven't read it yet, but it'd be neat to capitalize on that little bit of extra press momentum somehow. So, I mean,
absolutely. So why don't we use that piece as a way to, first of all, thank Richmond Magazine and that reporter, so it connects your social media with their social media. But it also can be a way to say, look, there's no location mentioned in the article, but we have a great announcement on that coming up starting on Monday. So use their momentum, this momentum of this article, as that push. Like, hey, thanks so much, Richmond Magazine, for focusing on our school. We've got a big announcement on that coming out on Monday. Woo! And then you'll be able to email her and let her know what that is, because maybe then she'll come back and do another article on you.
Yeah, she actually gets to come and spend the whole day at the school.
Cool.
When we're up and running, and then do a big feature, like a big spread in the Richmond Magazine, which would be
great.
Awesome.
That'll be really great. Yeah. But until then, you can definitely tag her, connect with Richmond Magazine via social media, and just let them know that this big announcement means that they'll know where to go. They'll have a place to go for that big feature.
Right.
And maybe they'll share it with their audience. So that would be nice.
Oh, well, I'm excited.
I know, I'm excited. And I think your story shows that when you have a clear focus, you've always been so clear about this. You've always been so clear about wanting to help students who in a traditional learning environment haven't been able to succeed. You've always been so clear about wanting to help those learners succeed in another type of learning environment. So I think people can see that and just want to be around that. They just want to help you with that. They want that to become a reality. So what other questions do you have? How will you move forward with this stuff that I've been able to share with you today?
Well, I like the idea of writing a blog article. I went down to the property a couple weeks ago and we took a bunch of pictures.
Good.
So I could write an article, and I could still keep the location kind of generic, or very, very generic. And we could start with that whole announcement thing, and then I could use I'm wondering if maybe I could write a blog article at the beginning of the week that touches on a couple of different topics, and then use those topics throughout the week.
Yeah.
That might be more doable for me. We actually have a scheduled work day on Tuesday and Thursday of this coming week to work on the space. The actual space that we're using for the students for teaching is perfect. But the space I need for like a mud room for them to drop their boots and their cubby stuff, cubbies and offices, we need to actually work on.
Gotcha.
But the school meeting space is fine, yeah. So we're excited. We're excited. And there's going to be some really, really neat, the property's really kind of raw. So we'll have to bring in the USDA and start from scratch. But the kids will get involved with the engineering process.
Wow.
And to make it even more interesting, there's a home on the property. And in order for us to use it, we need to move it.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, and that's quite the engineering feat right there.
Yeah.
So we'll be working with a home moving company to pick up this big brick house and move it from one side of the property to the other side of the property.
Oh, so cool.
That'll be a really neat engineering project.
Wow. If you want to even, I mean, the location of the property may be secondary when you take pieces of the property that you'll need to fix or retrofit to make possible.
Right.
So, I mean, that would be so cool, even just to show what these children will be learning to do once they get on site, and how they'll be able to make an impact in that community. That's really cool. Very cool. So, I mean, maybe you decide that the location is sort of secondary once they realize that you need support in other ways to make this happen.
Right.
That's great. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, I cannot wait to read. Let folks know how and where they can find your blog, Resi.
So they can find the school website. They can just go to richmondfarmschool.com.
Okay,
that's the easiest way to get there.
Yeah, that's pretty simple.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I cannot wait to start reading your blog and seeing some of the videos that you post and seeing where this journey takes you. I'm so thankful that you're part of our community and that people also are on board with what you're trying to do. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.